This is the fourth and final video for Excel Chapter 3 in the Go Office 2010 book. We're on page 407, Activity 3.18, formatting the chart and plot areas. And I want to make sure my chart is still selected. I've got the double line here around the chart, so it's still selected. Click the Format tab up here. And in the current selection group over here, point to the small arrow to the right of the first item. Let me see. Okay, and Chart Elements appears down here. And we can select a chart element. And we're going to choose chart area. And now we're going to format what was selected up here, which is the chart area. And in the Format Chart Area dialog box, this is the Format Chart Area dialog box, click Fill on the left, and on the right, we want Picture or Texture Fill. And we want to insert a picture from a file. And this is the picture that we want. It's taken us back to the folder we were in before, so we want this one. Click on Insert. And now we're at the top of page 408. In the Format Chart Area dialog box on the left, click on the border color. So there's our border color. We want a solid line. And we want to click the color arrow, and we want the first one in the fourth column, which is dark blue. Okay, that's not what I have. It's supposed to be dark teal. Text 2. Fourth column, first color. Okay. I'm guessing that what happened here is because I didn't start off with his file but created my own, that he has a different theme chosen, but I'm still going to take the fourth column, the first one. If I do change to his theme then later on, it should change this to the appropriate color, but that's not really a big deal anyway. On the left, click on Border Styles. And we want to select the width box, and we want to type 4 points in there. Goes up by 1/4 of a point here at a time. So you can either type it in or you can bounce on the arrows. And at the bottom, select rounded corners. And then close the dialog box. And now I've got a blue line that's 4 points wide with rounded corners. In the current selection group up here, click the Chart Elements arrow, and we want to do Plot Area this time, which is the background behind the picture here. And then we want to click Format Selection. And in the Format Plot Area dialog box, make sure we select Fill on the left side, which we're doing, and then on the right, click the No Fill option. And it makes that transparent. Click on Close. And now we're on number 9 on page 408. Click the Chart Elements arrow again and choose Vertical Value Axis. And then click Format Selection again. And in the Format Axis dialog box, on the left, click Line Color. On the right, click the solid line button right here. Click the color arrow and click the first color, which is white. And click on we're not clicking on OK yet. Now we are. It's probably hard to see because it's such a fine line, but this line is now white instead of black. We're on number 11 on page 409, and what we want to do here is from the chart elements, select vertical axis major grid lines and click Format Selection, and then go over here and change the line color to a solid line, and then for the color we want to pick white background 1, and now you can see some lines that are horizontal here as well. It didn't show up very well before. Actually, they don't show up very well now either. I would make them a little bit thicker. Let's actually see if we can figure out how to do that. And let's go here, and let's make it like about 1.5 points there. That's not too fat, but it's much easier to read. And click on close to close the dialog box. And now we're on number 12. From the chart elements list, select, so go back up here, and we want the horizontal axis, and click Format Selection, and in the Format Axis dialog box choose line color again, and choose solid line again, and we're going to choose white again, and we're also going to do the same thing here. We're going to cheat and make it a little bit bigger than he does so we can actually see it. Click on Close. It says point to any of the numbers over here, right click, and choose from the mini toolbar, we want the font color, and we want to choose white background 1. And now these are white, and I'm actually make them bold. It's a little bit easier to see. Do the same thing down here. Right click on any one of the numbers, go up here and make them white and make them bold. And it says click anywhere to deselect the chart. That's what our final chart looks like. Compare your screen to figure 3.44 at the bottom of page 409, and it looks pretty much the same except our white text and lines are a little bit easier to read. Now we're on page 410, number 3.19, and we're not going to do the document panel. We will go to the header and footer. So go to Insert, Header and Footer, and we're going to go to the footer, go to the left part. We're going to put in the file name like we always do. Click out of it, go back to normal view, and do a Control Home to get back up to the top so we can see our spreadsheet. So now we've got file name in the footer. They want us to do custom margins and center on the page, so let's go to page layout, margins, custom margins, and this is where you center it horizontally on the page. Click on OK. And they tell us to delete these extra 2 worksheets here. Click on the first one, shift click on the second one, right click and choose delete, and those 2 worksheets go away, and this is what we're left with. And this is the final result of project 3B in the Excel book. One thing about this particular project, he's showing you how to put a picture in the background, which is fine, but putting that particular picture in the background makes the chart harder to read, and therefore I don't think you should put a picture in the background unless you have a very, very good reason for doing so. This chart would be much easier to read if you just left a plain background there. So that's kind of a bad practice for designing charts. But that's the way he did it, so we'll leave it that way, and that's the end of Chapter 3, Project B.